a tragedy happens, learning how to adapt to it and not let it take you under and crash and make you feel like, oh my gosh, life is over, this, why? Always asking why. Being in flow is just accepting and surrendering what is. And saying, instead of asking why is this happening, oh my gosh, this is terrible, and falling and drowning into it, just being in flow and just accepting like, oh, okay, this is the wave that I'm on right now, so how do I adapt to this? What do I learn from this? How can this make me better? What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of TTALK, where it is you plus me plus a lovely cup of tea. And today we are back with another episode. If you guys are new here, let me reintroduce myself. My name is Nala Asa Shakur, also known as Tyler A. Norman. I am the author of the book Love Starts Here. If you guys haven't read my book yet, please check this book out. I worked so hard on it, spilled so much of just my interpersonal being to help others to learn how to embody unconditional love within, learn how to feed their energy bodies mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally, and learning how those things are what cultivate the ultimate energy of life and love. And so using that energy and having that within us, how we can attract the life we desire in our external world. So there's tons of art in here. I even designed the cover. We got poems in here, activities after every chapter. So if you haven't read or checked out my book yet, please go support that. And I am also the CEO and the owner of the All Natural right here, which is your one-stop holistic health shop, where we provide all your needs for a natural lifestyle. Okay? And a content, product, service, or event. So now that we're done with that, if this is you guys' first Tea Talk episode, this is just a safe and sacred space where we sip our tea and we talk the real hot tea, which is how to heal thyself, okay? So with that being said, we are going to get into the prayer, do some announcements, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with the message. We're going to start off with 3 deep breaths. Thank you, Mother, Father, Creator. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this sacred space. Thank you for this time, this opportunity, and this opening for us to be able to listen and speak and watch in whatever way we are participating in this Tea Talk. Thank you, God, for this space, for allowing us to channel and hear the divine wisdom that we need, Spirit. The divine wisdom that gives us whatever clarity, whatever interwoven and understanding, whatever affirmations, whatever motivation, whatever we need to hear in these moments that allow us to go within and look within ourselves and understand what is our lesson right now, and help us to alchemize our darkness to light and learn our lessons from all these life experiences that ultimately allow us to love ourselves deeper, love life deeper, and love others deeper. Thank you, God. Ashe. Woo! Okay, do y'all hear how that prayer flowed like that? So that is the vibe of this video, is a flow, just being in flow. Okay, so as far as announcements, I don't have anything super important, and I just feel like getting right into the message, so that's what we're gonna do. But yeah, I feel like that's the first thing I want to talk about is flow. Just learning how to move with life, learning how to picture part of life is a big ocean. Not all of life, part of life. Because like I said, we have 4 energy bodies which connect with the 4 elements. We have earth, water, fire, and air. So part of life, the emotional part of life, is like a big ocean. Water that cannot be contained, water that is not still, it has to move, okay? Imagine that part of life is that ocean. There are waves constantly flowing up and down, crashing. So the key is with life is to flow. Is to let those waves crash and let those waves flow, let those move, and not trying to stay, still and stagnant, because that's what creates swamps and lakes and ponds. And not that there's anything extremely wrong or that those are broken, but they're muggy, they're dirty, they're still, they're not cleansing. So part of life is learning how to flow. Like I said, learning how to go with everything that's going on. Learning how to, if a tragedy happens, learning how to adapt to it. And not let it take you under and crash and make you feel like, oh my gosh, life is over, this, why? Always asking why. Being in flow is just accepting and surrendering what is. And saying, instead of asking why is this happening, oh my gosh, this is terrible, and falling and drowning into it, just being in flow and just accepting, like, oh, okay, this is the wave that I'm on right now, so how do I adapt to this? What do I learn from this? How can this make me better? How can I use this as a tool for growth? Learning how to flow is crucial to us being able to maintain our balance in this life, because waves are constantly going to crash and fall. People are going to fall away from our lives. We're going to get betrayed. We're going to be hurt. We're going to fall down, bruise ourselves. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to lose money. All sorts of things are going to happen with life, and that's just the reality, because that's the balance. So when we are in flow, it allows us to remain calm, remain peaceful, remain in control of our own vibration, instead of letting life throw us around like a rag doll. Okay? So that's the first message. And I've been flipping cards for forever. So this is what we got. Wow. Literally, the cards just say exactly everything that I said. So we have the moon right here. The moon is feminine energy. The moon is tapping into that ocean, that flow within self, that surrender, that release of control. Trying to control every which way this goes and every which way this goes. So when life shows you, actually, you're not in complete control and takes everything away from you that you thought you had a handle on, the lesson is for you to sit. The lesson is for you to surrender. The lesson is for you to put faith over fear. Okay? So then we have the devil. So that's just what I was talking about. The devil. We have interference. We have oppression. All of these would seem like scary cards. Like, oh my gosh, that's what's happening right now. It's not saying that's what's happening right now. Spirit is trying to tell us that when all these things come, these darker energies, these yin energies, okay? These energies that are earthly, that align with the chakras below, okay? These dark energies. The feminine is dark. The feminine is yin. The feminine is the earthly, okay? So when we experience these things right here, people, the devil, people disguised as the devil, situations disguised as the devil coming to test us, coming to put fear in us. When we have interferences, people trying to scam us, people trying to break you and your man up, people trying to, get in your way and prevent you from rising to the top. Those interferences. When we have oppression, people trying to lower us and speak down on us and make us dim our light because they know it's so powerful. When we come in contact with all these things in life, which we will because they exist as part of the balance of life, we have to tap into our feminine energy. Tap into our feminine energy, our divine feminine energy specifically, and not drowning in those waves and those emotions and saying, oh my gosh, why people are just so this and this and just falling apart into the world, but instead surrendering, accepting it as what it is, as the balance, learning to accept and love the dark parts of life and reality and self, That's the feminine energy. And being in the divine feminine energy is being in that surrender, like I said, being that ocean that is allowed to move every which way, being in that ocean, being moved, but instead of being tossed around, thrown around, drowning, going under, being at complete flow with those waves and letting it be a ride and a journey and something that cleanses us and renews us, instead of something that eventually takes us out. Okay, so whew, that was a motherfucking message right there. So we're gonna pick from the Wisdom of the Shadow deck, because these cards, these are oracle cards, and their energy is called Wisdom of the Shadow. So the energy is very shadow-like energy, which is everything that we're talking about now. Darker energy, but it's giving you the wisdom in it. The message in the cards is allowing you to find out what's the light. How can you alchemize that darkness? Okay, so first we have dependency. I don't know if I want to read that one. We have dependency and we have shame, but I'm gonna see something is like, I don't know, making me feel weird about it. But anyways, we're gonna read it out of the book. So dependency. Holding on tightly to what is mine. Grasping, speaking from distortion, intensity, demanding, attachment, substance, addiction, relationships, seeking wholeness, dependent, codependent, interdependent, independent. That which we tie ourselves to becomes interwoven into our sense of wholeness and worthiness. When we attach to something, we can tend to draw satisfaction or fulfillment from that very thing. Whether it be people, relationships, the happiness of others, material items, ideas, thought patterns, being of service, phones, social media, praise, spiritual experiences, or a substance. Dependency is not defined by an assessment of whether the person or thing to which they are attaching themselves is inherently good or bad. Rather, the dependency is the inner pattern we are invited to look at, to see how we are sourcing our fulfillment, bliss, satisfaction, and self-perception and worth. Okay, so this first card is about having a deep sense of needing comfort inside. Having this deep sense of just wanting comfort, of wanting to feel better. Okay? And a lot of us have that, more than we realize. And it's crazy because I actually had a dream about this last night. Now that I am recollecting all this, I had a dream about this last night, and it was very powerful because family members, in my dream, family members were coming at me and saying, you know, you smoke too much. You smoke too much weed. This. You're terrible. You're riding yourself. You're making everything bad. And in my dream, I said, hold up. How can you point the finger at me and want to expose what you feel about me without understanding that everybody's the same way? It's just something different. So your addiction might be people, having friends, always going out, hanging around. Your addiction might be being with other people because you can't be alone. Your addiction might be watching TV. You might have all these TV shows that you watch, that you stay on top of. Whatever day they come on that week, you're watching that TV show. That might be your addiction because you want to escape your reality. What if your addiction is alcohol? If you feel like you need a drink every day because you need it to calm you down. You need to go out and have drinks and get drunk with people because it's a euphoria for you. It takes you out of the sadness that you are in and it lifts you. It makes you happier. What if Your addiction is food. Every time you feel sad, you go to eat. You want comfort food. You want soft things. You want ice cream, mashed potatoes, just any kind of potatoes. You want cakes and soft and sweet things. So you eat those. What if your addiction is working out? And you feel so good when you work out, so you over work out. You're in the gym every single day for hours and hours and hours, trying to mold yourself into a perfect version of self because you don't like yourself. So the point is, when I started pointing out all these things in my dream, it became like oh my gosh, that's no. And I said, that's exactly the thing. Because we all have those things. So who are we to point that out in somebody else when we are all? The thing is, we live in the reality of this world, which, like I said, which I've been talking about this whole time, it is light and dark. And there are moments where we can truly be feeling like we're under. Okay? We can truly be feeling like we're under. And there's a poem called Rise by Miles Carter. And he speaks in the poem, he says, sometimes we go under not to drown, but to remember how good it is to breathe. Okay, so just like I was saying earlier, the importance of flow and tapping into that divine feminine energy when all of these darker energies come into our reality, or we experience or see these things, or see others experiencing these things. Yes, tapping into your divine feminine and learning how to flow and accept and surrender is so important, and that is the key. Also, not judging yourself when you go under. Not judging yourself when you go under, because the point is for you to remember to learn how good it feels to breathe. Okay? And back to the message earlier from these oracle cards, dependency. Sometimes when we're under, we need that comfort. We need something to turn to. And I think it's important not to judge ourselves for that and allow ourselves sometimes to do that, but not too much. I saw someone tweet just this week, everything in moderation, including moderation. So everything in moderation, like, not getting addicted to all those things, TV, food, social media, all the things that I mentioned. Doing those things in moderation, but also practicing moderation in moderation and allowing yourself to just indulge sometimes. Allowing it sometimes, but not letting it take over. And that just even goes with the idea of flowing. It's just going with wherever you are in life. Going with wherever you are. Because the reality is, you're not going to always be above the surface. You're not going to always be this big, tall flower growing towards the sun. Yes, that is a season of your life, but there's another season where you fall. Your leaves fall, your petals fall, your flowers, your fruits fall, they die, and you go down into the roots of it all. And that is a continuous cycle of life. So I think I pulled the shame card not because I was supposed to read this certain section from the book, but putting it together with this. Not being ashamed, completely ashamed of dependency. Not falling victim to dependency and allowing yourself to have all these addictions and depending on the external world for everything, but also not being extremely shameful of the ways that you find comfort within this life. And then not being ashamed to go within self and to look at what's really there. Okay, so I am going to pick a African Goddess Rising card. Should I? I don't know. I'm trying to still decide. I might pick one, I might not. But I'm shuffling already, so if one comes out, then we know it was meant to be. But if it doesn't, I'm not tripping. It's already a beautiful, beautiful message. But This one came out. So, boom, we have Radical Rebirth. And I'm going to actually read that because I've never picked this card before. Radical Rebirth. That sounds beautiful. Yes, you can. Stop the struggle. You can choose at any moment to start over and be reborn. Like the sun, you rise again and again. Dust yourself off, move forward, and go for it again. Life is about transition and change. You will fall on your face, change your mind, and need to make a comeback again and again. Release the idea that you messed up if things aren't perfect. Stop waiting to be ready. Make new choices and decisions. And this is the declaration. Still I rise. Wow! Wow. Y'all literally, see, this is Spirit's work. This is God's work, because this just wrapped up and gave the motivation and gave the affirmation to just wrap up everything that I said in this whole TTALK episode. And just send us off with something beautiful, just a confirmation. You will fall on your face. You will change your mind. You will need to make a comeback again and again. Release the idea that you messed up if things aren't perfect. And stop waiting to be ready. Still I rise. Period, y'all. Period. And that's all I got to say. I ain't got nothing to say about this. So, I'm going to send you guys off in this TTALK with some love. If you guys enjoyed this, if this message resonated with you, and you want to book a personal healing session with me, I have intuitive healing sessions. I will link that down below where you can have a personal session with me. Like I said, it will be a virtual call, and I will pull cards based on your energy, your ancestors, your guides, and give you a message, you know, personalized for your experience. So, like I said, that was a beautiful message. Please just take that in, re-listen if you need to, and be at flow today. And let what is be what is. And learn to be in that divine feminine, yet not being disappointed in ourselves when we are in our dark Lilith moon energy.